Ridley Scott comments on Quentin Tarantino's plan to retire after his 10th film, telling him to shut up and go make another movie. Scott and Tarantino are two of the greatest living filmmakers and most important voices in modern cinema, having directed iconic works such as Alien, Blade Runner, Gladiator, Reservoir Dogs, Pulp Fiction, Inglourious Basterds, and many more. While Tarantino has long planned to retire from directing after his 10th film, Scott is still going strong after 29 movies at 86 years old, with his latest, Gladiator 2, releasing later this month. In a new profile by The Hollywood Reporter, Ridley Scott was asked about Tarantino's plan to retire after his 10th movie, and he responded bluntly, "I don't believe it." The interviewer said that if you truly love something, you're great at it, and you try to stop, it has a habit of pulling you back in. Scott agreed, telling Tarantino to shut up and go make another movie. Scott also mentioned how Tarantino wrote the script for True Romance, which his brother Tony Scott directed. Read Ridley Scott's full response below. What Ridley Scott's comments mean for Quentin Tarantino's retirement plan. He's the latest octogenarian director to comment. Ridley Scott is the latest octogenarian director to address Tarantino's plan to retire after 10 movies. Martin Scorsese, director of 26 narrative feature films, also shared his thoughts on the subject, striking a very different tone than Scott, saying as long as he is curious about certain subjects, he will continue making movies about them, and couldn't speak for Tarantino's process. Scorsese has also quoted Kurosa, saying that, at 80 years old, he is only now beginning to see the possibility of what cinema could be, and it's too late to tell all the stories he wants to tell. Scott's comments about Tarantino's retirement plan are much more blunt and skeptical, essentially diminishing the idea and calling it bullshit that he would actually step away from directing after 10 movies. Scott's reaction seems to be a mix of frustration and admiration, almost as if he's saying a director as talented as Tarantino shouldn't impose limits on himself artistically. Scott's advice, shut up and go make another movie, sounds like he believes Tarantino's talent should continue driving him to make films, regardless of his talk about retirement. Our take on Quentin Tarantino retiring after 10 movies. It's disappointing, but one should respect his decision. Quentin Tarantino in Reservoir Dogs and Django Unchained. Custom image by Anna Nieves. While it's incredibly disappointing that Tarantino plans to retire after 10 movies, and cinema will lose one of its greatest auteurs prematurely, his decision is well thought out and one has to respect it. The director is determined to go out on top, prioritizing his legacy and the integrity of his filmography over the potential lure of making more movies and working to diminishing returns. However, if Ridley Scott is right, Quentin Tarantino's drive and passion will be hard to shut off, and he will probably feel compelled to keep making films, 10th movie or not.